Alright, you lot, so I thought I'd just make a video. I've got my finger to the pulse on Mortal Kombat, as I always do, and what I could tell, the MK fans, they ain't too pleased. And now there's multiple angles to look at this from. I ain't trying to waste all your time, so I'm going to go over them quickly, alright? Alright, so point one, we're going to go over the Mortal Kombat 2 film. Now, I think there's a couple of camps you can see this from, like, main point of contention that people have got at the minute is lol Jade bald, right? If you've been in my stream, there's been the meme lol Jade bald. Personally, I don't really care that she's bald, like it doesn't really matter too much to me, but I can understand why people would be a bit annoyed about that because Jade's never been bald and it's sort of messing with character identity, and I think that's been a common theme amongst various fighting games people don't seem to like in general. So if you look at Tekken, like this is like removed from the media side of it. If you look at Tekken, they're moaning about their characters losing identity through gameplay, right? Look at someone like Jade, who obviously, like, I know there's let's have a look. So here's the actor, I think her name's Tati, right? Yeah, good looking woman. She looks like Jade, just Jade ain't bald. So I think that's the main thing, that you're just messing with the character's identity. She's never been bald, and they're saying that there's going to be a plot reason for why she's bald, but there doesn't even need to be a plot reason for why she's bald, or like that. It doesn't even need to be a plot point in the first place. It's kind of like a disconnect, almost. Like Mortal Kombat fans would really, that's the thing that they're going to care about. It's not really focusing on what Mortal Kombat is, and I think that's a problem for that in the first place. But the rest of it, can't really complain too much about it. The other characters look pretty sick. Like the presentation of the stages is really good. So I think in terms of the Mortal Kombat 2 film, it's not too much of us have to worry about right yet. It could be good. I think it's looking better than the first, which is a step up, but we'll have to see in regards to the film. The only other thing I could actually mention is if you're going to go with the Jade being bald path, Ross Kemp was right there. Jason Statham, Vin Diesel. Come on, like, think. Right, and for a point of contrast, right, we're talking about character identities and whatnot. We got Sagat's trailer in Street Fighter 6, and this character, they really doubled down on his Muay Thai characteristics. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in my stream and all that, Muay Thai this, Muay Thai that, yeah, I love Muay Thai. But they really did this character well, and I think it's like, the Jade thing is going one direction of our identity, and the Sagat thing is going the other. And Sagat is like leaning into the things that make him Sagat. Like, he's the king of Muay Thai, and they're leaning into that. Look at that. He's like throwing some actual Muay Thai moves and all that. And with Jade, it's sort of like they just gone, let's put this thing in there that's totally unrelated. It's like a curveball. Like, why do you need to throw the curveball? That's pretty much what it is. So yeah. There's two, like, Sagat is a great contrast in that sort of area, I think. Okay, so another point about what would be making Mortal Kombat players unhappy right now is, first, I'm going to go on about the DLC and the way they're dealt with in this game. So if you look or watch Blink Respawn, which was in Dominican Republic, the last Pro Tour stop that just gone by, this weekend just gone, you'll see Scorpion Prox versus Rewind over here, right? What do you see in Grand Finals? T1000, Homelander. Right now, I know if you've been on my channel, you know that I'm a Homelander hater. Yeah, screw that character, but whatever. You'll see him every tournament, anytime you're in ranked. Like, he is meta defining, and so is T1000. And I think this is a problem with Mortal Kombat 1 and the whole identity thing I was talking about earlier. You know, lol Jade bald, right? That's not a part of her identity, whatever. But when you go and play this game, so much of it is versus DLC characters, specifically guest characters as well. So you got these two, Conan, yeah, just guest characters in Mortal Kombat seem to be meta defining. They're game defining almost, and I think it's removing the frequency that you're going to even bother seeing these original MK characters. Like, the amount of time for every one reptile you see, right, this is just reptile, right? Clearly a fan favorite. He's been in there since the first game. Every one reptile you see, there's going to be multiple T1000s and Homelanders, like a lot. I think I can think of like 2 or 3 reptile players and about 10 of both of these characters, right? So this character is these characters are super popular, super meta defining, and it's come to the point where most of the time you're not even watching a Mortal Kombat match, you're watching a match between this guy from this film and that guy from that film, and they might be on a Mortal Kombat stage. Okay, whatever. But this doesn't just happen in tournament, it's anytime you play the game. You go into ranked, that's happening. You go into casuals, that's happening. And these characters, the way they play is also, it's very, I think it's kind of damage. It's almost damaging to like the skill that Mortal Kombat could have or require you to have. Like if you watch the Homelander is literally just any button into unreactable command grab into 30%. T1000s just any bit of advantage into a string into a 66% likelihood of hitting you and 33% of guessing wrong and getting punished. But the odds are always in his favor in that interaction. There's other stuff going on here, like there's quality of life issues, which there's a lot of compounding issues with MK1, right? There's quality of life issues, there's messing with the story, which is again leading back to the identity thing. So like doesn't matter what level of fan you are, you can be like super fan, super nerd in the competition like me, and like you got a problem with the way the game plays at a like molecular level, and also you could be like well, I'm on both, but like you could be on the lore side of it where they're messing with the lore, like why is this character like that, and why are Scorpion and Sub brothers, and this sort of things that like you just can't really justify that. Mortal Kombat fans are not hard to please. I'm pretty sure it's a very simple formula, like just run the formula in it. They've caught the formula before twice. They caught it twice with MK9 and MKX, both very well regarded games, like highly regarded games. I think with the reinventing of the wheel and always trying to change it up and do something new and interesting, it kind of messes with it a bit. You got to keep the identity of what MK is, right? Well, first off, you got to make it MK characters versus MK characters as a priority. You can't just allow DLC characters to run wild. And even then, like the next step down from these two characters are still DLC characters. So it's like the game's pretty much pay to win by that point. Like you've got Sector and Cyrax, right? People hate fighting Cyrax, people hate fighting Sector. Both of those characters running rampant on the meta as well, but they're slightly, just not drastically, but slightly held beneath these two, because these two are even more meta defining. Like if you're playing in a tournament or whatever, you're playing a set of characters that have to know how to fight these. Not as worried about the other two because they're a bit less frequent. Let's see, yeah, the quality of life things in this game, like no practicing while searching, and I think ultimately as the player base dwindles, you're searching longer, so you're actually spending a lot of time being idle in this game. You're just looking at the screen, and the menu screen is not, there's nothing going on, you're just looking at a bunch of trees. Might as well be playing Watch Grass Grow Simulator at that point. Like there's certain things going on, like so our community, for example, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but our community, the Mortal Kombat community, are a very passionate community, and they work very hard to like keep themselves doing what they're doing. Okay, so I think there's a great disconnect between the developers and the community. So you take a person, an individual like Rips Arena, right? I'm sure a lot of you watching this know about Rips Arena. If you don't know about him, go check out his channel, you'll see what I mean. He put every day he's making tournaments for people to enter, win like big chunks of prize money, and get the name out there in the community. And it's all a great positive, right? He's a very positive person for the community. However, there is no mention of him through any sort of like social media from the developers or anything, and he's doing NetherRealm great favor, really, because he's keeping people's eyes on the game that wouldn't be there otherwise. And I think that's consistent with other people. There's Destroyer, Ketchup and Mustard, Vape Coach, anyone that's streaming the game. Obviously there's some more abrasive people, like you could put me in that category if you want, because people will just talk shit or whatever, but that's whatever. there's just such a substantial disconnect. And I think it could be a symbiotic relationship between the developer and the community, but it's sort of, I don't want to say wasted, because it's not wasted, because the people doing it do it out of passion, right? And that is not a waste of time if you're doing it out of passion and you genuinely love what you're doing. I'm sure we all love the franchise and we all love what we're doing. I think it's just, there could be more done with it. There could be more done with it. That's what I'm trying to say in the end here. And if you want to go and talk about the way that tournaments have regressed in this game, that's also another point, right? So that is evidence that people don't like the game. So you compare our tournament numbers to the other, like we're the big three, but we're really not anymore. But you compare it to like Tekken and Street Fighter, right? Tekken, nobody likes their game. The Tekken players hate their game with a burning passion, right? Their scene grows even when they have a game that they despise, right? There's means that something's going right on some sort of level. But with us, we got a game we don't like. We don't dislike it as much as Tekken 8. I don't think we do. But our community numbers are regressing. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, DLC messing the game up. The assist system, obviously that's only going to be a one game thing. Like, they're always trying to reinvent the wheel, which is not necessary. Cameo thing probably won't come back, but I think that's a heavy part in why people don't like it. I was watching a Tweedy video on this, and he was saying, yeah, there's always someone in the comments moaning about cameos. He's right, there's always someone in the comments moaning about cameos, whether it be Twitch, YouTube, whatever. So that's got to be like a very strong reason for why people are not feeling the game. And I think if you went back to play MK11, so I've been streaming a lot of MK11 lately as well, there seems to be more people playing that. It's easier to find a match on MK11 than it is on MK1, and you're spending so much time just looking at the menu searching for a match. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I've been waffling. Let me get on to my next point. Okay, so just another point about the way that the tournaments have been regressing in numbers. This is Evo 2012, right? This is young me versus young Rio, right? In this Evo, the one that PL won the second time, there was 301 entrants, right? So in this year of 2025, we have an Evo that has 377 entrants. Okay, so that's barely that much difference in numbers of entrants. However, there was a point in time when MK was the third biggest game, when we were part of the big three rightfully, when we had 1,500 entrants, and that was 2019. 2019 was like our greatest year for tournament Mortal Kombat. And I know the sentiment is normally, oh yeah, current game bad, old game good. But in this sort of metric, MK11 was better than MK1 in any measurable metric. So all of the biggest tournaments of all time for Mortal Kombat have been in MK11. Evo 2019, 1,500. Combo Breaker 2019, 1,100 something. CEO 800 or so. All right, so CEO being the third biggest, we'll take the third biggest. It's bigger than any tournament we've had at any point of MK1's lifespan, and there's not any hope of that being surpassed by this point, because it's always a downward spiral. That's natural. It's a natural regression. Like, that always happens in all of these games, right? The longer it goes on, the less people enter and whatnot. But it doesn't have to be that way. I know. Like I was saying earlier, like Tekken 8 and Street Fighter don't trend that way. So there's something missing. There's something missing. I don't know what it is. If you think you know what it is that is missing, please comment. So like, I'm interested in hearing your viewpoint about what is Street Fighter doing so right, because they're doing something so right. Tekken's doing a lot wrong, but they're still doing something right to grow their community. Because I remember when like, around this sort of time they were doing Tekken Tag 2, right, and they were in their like dark era, but they've grown like massively since then, and we seem to just be constantly either stuck where we are or going backwards. It's like will have 1 step forward, 3 steps backwards, and there's something so wrong with that. I don't know what it is. So if you've got an idea, give me a shout, let me know. Yeah, our numbers shouldn't be reflecting that of MK9 in 2025. Currently, people are a bit down on MK, right? Fair enough. We've got all of these reasons have been over. There might be other reasons that you reckon and whatnot. I think that's the general perspective. What about in the future? So I get asked frequently in my stream, is it MK next or is it Injustice next? And I think there's a good and a bad sort of outcome for both options. So like if you go with Injustice, let's say, it'll be short-term bad, but with the potential for a long-term good, because you got the potential for them to make better MK game down the line, assuming that they're listening to the feedback of people that are just giving their thoughts about why they're not happy with the franchise right now, right? But at the same time, Injustice could just be like seen as another negative because people like MK more and they're like, oh, why are you giving us Injustice, blah blah blah. But it depends on your perspective. Some of you are going to be Injustice fanboys, some of you won't. That sort of entirely depends on that. If it's another MK, they have to make it right, I think, because at this point, the story's just so like no stakes. They need to make something. They need to return stakes to Mortal Kombat. Like there has to be some sort of risk involved in the story, and less of these like curveballs. Sake of it, doing like, oh, you didn't expect Jade to be bald, like, it's like, you know, that sort of thing, or whatever that is. But that's, I mean, I'm just saying that as a theme, but whatever. No, yeah, the future of MK. Currently, we've got one good thing. Actually, we've got one good thing coming, and that is the MK Legacy Collection. But I think that's sort of like a band-aid. It's not necessarily a fix or like, they need to do something to restore the good faith of the fans, because Mortal Kombat fans are very loyal, aren't they? They're very, they're ride or die. They're gonna stay, but they're probably also gonna moan. So you've got to do something that's gonna please them. Difficult one, but Injustice, I think maybe if they make a good Injustice game where people aren't complain about that zoning and all that so much. Yeah, it's a difficult one to say. I think I personally think Injustice is coming, which then means that I'm hoping for the next MK game after that to be something like an MK Origins. Go to the Great Kung Lao story, forget about the whole timeline bollocks, just flush all that, and then go from there. Like you got characters in this franchise that are mega old. You could have so many fan favorites and still go back to the origin story. So that'd be my plan of action if I had any sort of creative control, which I don't. But I think that's, yeah, the future is it's on an edge, isn't it? Like, yeah, it's on an edge. It could go either or way. But I guess that's for us to find out. No one knows what I was doing. But yeah, I thought I'd just have a little waffle about what my thoughts on the whole situation with MK are going on. I get a lot of people coming in the streams asking basic questions around these sort of subjects, like what do you think's next and why do you think this and that about that. So I thought I'd just pile my thoughts in the video, and if you want to just tell me what you think. I'm always listening to what you lot are saying and maybe hearing some different perspectives. What do you want next? What do you think is like good or bad about each way that they're dealing with all these sort of things? It's a very broad subject, something that should be so simple, but yeah, let me know in it. I haven't really got anything else to say. Thank you for watching the video. Come to my Twitch in it if you want to just slag me off or whatever, or slag me off in the comments. That's fine, that'll do as well. If you do, you're a mug. All right, cheers, see you in a bit.